My first year at the NCAA was the 50th anniversary of the Final Four. And so it started in Kansas City, so the 50th anniversary was going to be in Kansas City. And so there was already a lot of planning in place when I took over, and we planned a major event to be held downtown at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, remembering the 50 years of the tournament and how it developed into what it was. And those developments were coming along real well, and one day, two of my assistants that were working specifically on this and came in and said, you know, we've got a real problem. We need your help. We can't get John Wooden to agree to come. And I knew John and I were good friends through coaching and through working with younger athletes and their faith. And I was well aware of the close relationship he had with his wife, Nell. She traveled with them to every game they went to, both home and away, and they had this little signal they exchanged just before the tip-off. And when Nell passed away, John just couldn't bring himself, he wasn't coaching anymore, but he just could not bring himself to come to a Final Four. It was too emotional for him. So I said, okay, I'll give him a call. So I called John, and he said, when I talked to him about it, the first thing he said is, Dick, he says, you know as well as anybody why I'm not there and why I don't feel comfortable coming. I said, John, I realize that and I respect that. Let me talk to you about an opportunity for you to do this that will relieve some pressure. I said, I'll send a private plane out to pick you up, fly you in. You go right to the hotel. You'll be 45 minutes away from the basketball arena. The program will be that evening. We'll fly you back out the next morning. And you won't have to even come close to the basketball, because I said, if you're not here with the dominance you had for 10 years, this program will fall flat. Well, he said, let me think about that. Call me back in a couple of days. So I waited and called him back, and he said, if you can do it exactly the way you said, I'll come. So John was seated at our table, and it was a wonderful event, so forth. And when the event concluded, John reached down and tapped me on my leg, and he said, Dick, I want to thank you for your persistence, which was his way of saying, I'm really glad I came. And then the line was out the door wanting John's autograph. I said, John, I'll get you out of here right away. No, he says, I'll sign a few. Well, he signed every one of them. Probably took him at least an hour, because he asked everybody a question and wrote something special and signed his name to it. And then eventually, between Jerry Coangelo and myself, we were able to encourage John to get involved in the Legends of the Hardwood Breakfast. And shortly then, about 2 years later, he started going to the Saturday games. So all of this was a rich blessing for us, but in the long run, it was a real blessing for John.